So good evening. You may be wondering why we're here, but as City Council members, we wanted to give you an opportunity to really understand our fire prevention programs set up here in Biloxi and what it can do or mean for you. So we have several great programs set up throughout the city, and some key aspects of those things are to understand the basics of fire prevention. So with fire prevention, we have what's called the basic three E's. So education, enforcement, engineering. So how are we as a city of Biloxi meeting these needs? Well, with education, we have several community outreach projects. One of my favorites is the Fire Academy for Kids. This is for kids 7 to 12 years old who learn about fire safety and fire prevention. This also puts them on a track to have that safety frame of mind and to hopefully volunteer with the department later on in life. Kind of our recruit starting points, if you could say so. Also with that, we have the Biloxi, West Biloxi Hose Company Museum and Fire Education Center. Here, anybody in the community can go and learn about the history of the fire department with the city. Some great learning materials there. There's some great training available there to the community, and it really helps put that safety and fire prevention up in the forefront of people's minds. So you may ask, what about the enforcement? Well, the fire department makes annual and biannual inspections of all the commercial businesses in the area. This is done by our fire inspector, who is part of the Biloxi Fire Department, along with the fire department, the crews, and the trucks. So the code enforcement in Biloxi we follow is from the ICC for 2021. Rolling out here in July of 2024, we're hoping to meet the new building standards of the ICC for 2024. Now the state's minimum is to meet the 2017 codes, but we are exceeding that because we've seen such the great need for it and how it can really advance what we're doing and make our community a safer place for these individuals. Now, some of you may ask, why are they annual or biannual? Well, the biannual ones, the ones that are done every 6 months, are for the state mandated buildings, such as your nursing homes or your hospitals. We really want to put a focus on those buildings because those people definitely need to be in a very safe environment. So how does the fire inspector know where to look or where to turn? So one of the systems we use is we use the ANSIM E84, which is a standard testing method to understand whether the materials that are being used in these buildings are to standard. So they check, how does the flame spread? What is the fire resistance on these products? What reaction does it have to fire? And it really helps you understand how fire in that building could spread or what the potential harm is. The inspector can even look at labels such as on the fire doors and stuff to understand, are we meeting these codes? Are we understanding these codes? And are we doing what's best for our community? By testing and doing these ratings and staying up with codes, we can really save our community time and money if a fire was to break out, because we can control it quicker and faster by meeting these standards, such as even having fire suppression systems in place. One of our biggest concerns in the community is some of our apartment buildings that were built pre-1970s. These buildings are all wood structures. They have no fire ratings on the wood, and it's of concern because if they were to catch on fire, there's no fire suppression systems, and they will go up in flames as quickly and spread because they are apartment buildings and they don't have firewalls in place. So some of those buildings are definitely on our radar and are continued concern because our new buildings must be made out of steel or aluminum, something that's less likely to burn in the case of a fire. So with the influx of the building in this industry and in this area, it's put a large strain on our fire department and our fire inspector, because how can someone make all of these appointments at the same time and do a thorough inspection? So with the funds that you've granted us, we'd like to be able to not only maintain our program, but exceed our program by increasing our manpower, by increasing our staffing, and maybe having a department that is solely dedicated to the fire inspection and building codes to make sure that we're meeting and exceeding these standards. By doing that, we can save the community money in the long run if we're meeting these standards and having a better understanding of fire safety and fire inspections. So as part of the community leaders here, we're coming to you to say, here's what we're doing. We just want to make it so much better. And with the help from the community, the help from our inspectors, the help from our city council members that support us, we can really make this fire prevention education program succeed in the way that our community needs it as it grows.